Change on the doors to major changes in ownership at a Blacksburg staple.
Back in April of 2017, you might remember just 2 years ago, there was a big lock on the doors and the sign was coming down after the property owners said that Frank's Theaters had fallen almost $500,000 behind on rent and other expenses. The CineBowl was able to get the doors back open just a few days later after paying $80,000 as ordered by a judge, but the financial troubles weren't over. In January of this year, the company owning the theater, Bowling Alley Restaurant Arcade Combo, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
But now it's Frank's no more as a new company is taking over. 10 News reporter Lindsay Kennett is live in Blacksburg with how the change in ownership could impact you. Lindsay.
Just like you said, after years of controversy and legal battles, the CineBowl and Grill is getting a new owner just in time for those summer blockbusters. Blacksburg's CineBowl and Grill has always been a popular spot for 17-year-old Seth Beringer and his friends to hang out, watch movies, bowl, and eat food.
With the new Marvel and DC movies coming out, there's a lot more superhero flicks.
He says the old manager, Frank Theaters, had some issues.
Sometimes I'd be in line a long time.
And Virginia Tech grad Taylor Phelps says he wasn't happy about the prices either.
They were too expensive, so people would go elsewhere.
But that will soon change. On Thursday, Florida-based company Paragon Theaters will take over the Blacksburg Theater, Arcade, and Bowling Alley, along with several other Frank Theaters across the country. The new name, Paragon First and Main.
We want to be the entertainment destination for Blacksburg.
Paragon invested $2 million to install leather reclining seats with footrests. And it will feature a new restaurant. But some things will remain the same. All employees are staying on board, and Paragon hopes to eventually hire more. The big seller here, adult tickets are dropping to $9 for matinees, $11 for regular showings, and student prices to $7.
Oh, wow. All right, hey, that's manageable.
That'd be a really good deal.
VT grad Daniel Pratson is still skeptical.
Probably because of hearing that they've had sketchy management issues and that kind of turnover.
But Beringer is excited to sit back and see what's in store.
But new managers, if they made that more efficient, I think it'd be a great experience for everyone.
Now, the plan is to install new Paragon signs by the end of next week, and Paragon is also planning a big celebration at the end of the summer when students come back to school. Live in Blacksburg, I'm Lindsay Kennett, 10 News, working for you.